science is nothing but first you need to understand that thing, understanding anything that is around you, and questioning it. Okay, when you are understanding something, you understand its structure first, then its function. Okay. Okay, right. You take anything you are studying in your everyday life, first you study its structure, then its function, then definitely you are studying its science. Okay. Environmental science. What you are studying in environmental science? You study the structure of environment. What are small ecosystems? Then you study biosphere, how the different components of ecosystems like producers, consumers, decomposers. Then you see the influence of each of that and how to protect this. So this is environmental science. This goes it goes like this for everything. You can compare this with anything that you study in your life. You study physics is a science. You study the structural components like what is present in environment, heat, temperature, all particles, whatever it may be. Then you study how they uh, function, how there is an influence of one thing over other. So when you study these two things, you take any scientist. So you take the climatologist, for example. Okay, this is structural study and functional study. Structural and functional study. Okay, take for example climatologist. It studies various components of climate like temperature, rainfall, clouds, everything. After that, how they are influencing each other. You take a chemist. Chemist studies about the molecules, atoms, their arrangement, angles in which these atoms are arranged. Then they'll study about how they are influencing, how there is a collisions, how they're uh, interacting, how these molecular interactions occurs, etc. Right? Okay. Right. Chemist. Okay. You take astrologist. Astrologist. Astrologist tries to study the various components at celestial bodies. Studies various celestial bodies, how there is interaction between celestial bodies and all. Okay. What is the forces that are balancing them? What are the rings around them? All these they'll study. Okay. So that all scientists do in the same way. Structural study, functional study leads to understanding how the those things work. Okay. So why should we study? Okay, we'll discuss about questioning later. Why should we study science? Why should we study science? Is there any use? What will happen if we did not study science? Never we studied science. What happens? Will the ancient man who used rock for the first time to build fire, if he did not use those two rocks and he did not build fire, that is a simple science. Okay, will the fire, did the fire, I mean, would we identify that fire can exist or fire can be used to cook something? No. You take the simple agricultural techniques, that is also part of science. That if agriculture was not developed, uh, do we have food now if there is no agriculture? So these simple things are identified, observed, what is around them, they have observed, they have understood how to use them, how to, how they are, what is their components, then how to use them. All these they have studied, then our life became very convenient. So when we study why science, there are two angles in which we can think. Is there any use of studying science from individual's perspective? From one person's, for you personally, is it useful to you in any way? Or social perspective, is it useful to society in any way? So we'll study in these two perspectives. Okay, from your side, you think and say me, is science useful to you particularly in any way? Can you, any one of you say? You can brainstorm and think and say me what uh, is science useful to you in any way? You say me, how is it useful? Okay. We are sitting on sofas, we are operating on remotes very conveniently. Somewhere else, the TV is there at a distance, we are able to operate. Is this not convenience? We are able to switch on and the fan is on. Just a switch on and TV is on. Is this not convenience? So, first thing is convenience. Is there any other use with science? Yeah, it helps us to understand nature, truth of nature, to understand nature. What happens if you understand nature? It gives a lot of satisfaction. Okay, it's a very good satisfaction. See, when why small children open all the toys and observe everything that is present, that's a satisfaction. They understand how it works, what are there, what are the parts inside. Yeah, very good. It helps us to explore the world. Explore the world. It helps in discovery of new things. Discovery of new things. It helps improves our process of thinking. Okay, etc. I'm simply writing etc. Is there any use for the society when you study science? How is it useful to society when you study science? Is it useful to society in any way? Yeah, climate. We are able to understand the climate. Because we are able to understand the climate, if there is any sudden volcano eruption or sudden earthquake, something like that, we can be cautious. Okay, so it improves our life, social life also. We can be careful. Okay, Hasini is saying everything we know about the universe, from how trees reproduce to what an atom is made up of, is result of scientific research. So we are every the social life is improving. Okay, social life is improving. Economic development is there. We are suppose let us take agriculture has improved. When agriculture has improved, more amount of output. When there is more amount of output, we can export certain things. When there is export and import, there is economic development. Okay, let us take. We are doing so much technological research. We have made so many technological things around us. That also helps us to import and export. When archaeological department has made its advantages, we are able to extract many things from soil. So there is definitely economic growth. Economic growth. Okay. Standards of life increase. Standards of life in a society increase, etc. Okay. It gives knowledge. It improves in various ways. It increases employment in the country. It increases different resources that are present in the country. So these are the social uses. So this is the reason why we need to study science. We don't want to stay where we are. We want to advance. Everyday life, we expect it to be better than before. So that is why not only personal life, social life also. We expect everyday life to be better than before. That is why not only we individually study science, countries invest in studying science, in studying research for research of different fields, for technological research. Government funds them, provides funds to the people who are doing research, because there is difference. There is a great difference. Okay, right. But here one thing we should understand, science changes. Sciences change. Very simple example I'll say. Every day, everyone do not uh, look at science at the same angle. Oh, Saiful Ahmad, I'm really very sorry for this. Next time onwards, I'll keep it in mind. Okay. Yes, we can even research the historiological things that were used before and how long aging of man, everything. We understood different things because of science. What our life is today is because of science. Or else we would be the same man living under the trees, hunting animals, hunting birds, searching for food in the forest. No, our life is not like this because we have studied science. Okay. But here, one thing we should understand, science is not constant all the time. We'll take very simple example. You know about geocentric theory? In the beginning, Earth was believed to be in the center of universe. And that theory was proposed by Copernicus. He said that Earth is in the center of universe and all the celestial bodies, whether they are stars, planets, everything, were revolving around the Earth. But another scientist, his name is Kepler. What did he say? He said that Sun is in the center of universe, and he proposed heliocentric theory. Centric theory. So what I mean to say you here is science is not same always. It keeps on changing. You take a very simple example that is available in your hands every day. You're watching mobiles. How was a mobile when it was first developed? It has a keypad. We need to dial on the keypad, and only numbers were visible. It is used only to make calls. Now, what is mobile? Everything is in the mobile. Okay, every information that you need is in the mobile. So, is it not a change? Did anyone of us believe? Okay, did you ask your parents? Something can be changed by simply touch. By touching, you are able to change your screens. Did any of your parents believe that this could happen? And moreover, we are even in the future there are so many changes possible. Okay, first, even in science we can see this type of changes like in biology. First, cell when it was discovered as dead cell. When Robert Hooke discovered the cell, it was dead cell. He took the cork of the plant to identify cells. At that time, cell was thought to be not a living thing. And after that, Antony von Leeuwenhoek, what did he say? He observed the blood cells, different bacterial cells, different protozoan cells in the water, and he identified that cell is a living component. Okay, several things like that. Okay, when research was done first time on living organisms, all organisms were divided only into plants and animals. Now we can see that we have five kingdoms. Bacteria were separated, protozoa were separated, plants were separated. So science keep on changing. That we need to accept. Okay, science is not constant. It keeps on changing. So what should be our attitude towards science? Our attitude towards science should be a questioning attitude. A questioning attitude should be there towards science. Okay? There is no word like belief. In science, belief is not accepted. Okay? You should not believe anything. You should understand it. You should reason it. You should study it very well. If you did not understand anything, you should question it. Okay? That is how different theories were developed. First, let us take for example. Initially, it was believed that giraffes have their long neck because they started extending their neck towards long branches, and that was acquired in the lifetime. But this is not true. Change takes this type of changes in structure of organism takes billions of years. But what Lamarck said, Lamarck is a scientist. Lamarck is a scientist who said that when the giraffes, which were initially having very short neck, when the grass on the ground was completed, they started reaching higher branches, and from that higher branches they started eating food. That is why their neck, it grew to become very long neck, and their front legs became very long. But this change is not a short change. It does not occur like that. It takes billions and billions of years for a change in the structure of organism. All these adaptations which we speak about, cactus has changed its leaves into thorns. They take thousands of years to billions of years to occur. Okay, they are not occurred in the lifetime. Even Lamarck said that the change that is acquired in the lifetime will pass to next generation. It was believed like that. Okay, you take the example of what is the name of that scientist? Von Helmont. What did he say? All plants acquire everything from water. If you are watering the plants, you are supplying everything. There was no idea about the carbon dioxide, oxygen, anything. But here, only after questioning, things change. Other scientist, Stephen Hales, he questioned, if there is no light, what will happen? Next, engine house. Why only the green plants have this influence? Why not other things like light falls everywhere? It falls on soil also. It falls on rocks also. Why they are not changing? He questioned. Only by questioning, science is improving. And very important part of science is question. Okay, acceptance is not. Acceptance is not a part of science. Everything should not be accepted. You should understand the structure. You should analyze the structure, but it should not be accepted as it is. You take, for example, you are all chemistry children. So we'll speak about the electrons. J.J. Thomson. You know about J.J. Thomson? What did he say about electrons? Electrons are particles. But his son, P.J. Thomson, did he accept that electrons are particles? Yeah, you know, right. So that's very good that you know. Did he accept, P.J. Thomson? Did he accept that electrons are particles? No, he did not accept. What did he say? Electrons are waves. So you should always question everything that is around. Whatever you are said, whatever you are told, everything you should question. That is how the science advances. Okay, science does not advance by acceptance. It develops by questioning. So there is a particular method called scientific method. Scientific method. What is the scientific method? I'll say there are steps in the scientific method. First, observation. Observation. Second thing, making hypothesis. Sorry. Questioning. Making hypothesis. Then plan an experiment. And then you need to exhibit that experiment. Plan an experiment. Right here. Perform the experiment. Perform the experiment. Then analyze results. Analyze results. After that, if the results are not matching, you need to further Again, you need to follow all the steps. Let us take the simple example. You're sitting in a room and suddenly the bulb is, whatever tube light is there in your room, it's not working. Okay? So that is your observation. Okay, that is an observation which came to you automatically. Okay, there are some observations which you need to observe keenly. There are certain observations which come to you automatically. So when light is off, you automatically observe. There is nothing that you need to pay your attention for that. After observing, you question why did the bulb go off. Then you give your first answer to something. That first answer is called as hypothesis. Hypothesis is an assumption. An assumption. When you pose the question to yourself, why did the light go off? The first thing that comes to your mind is there may be some problem in circuit or the power is off. Whatever answer that you give to your question, first answer that you give to your question is your hypothesis. Okay. After that, whether it is correct or not, if there is a problem in circuit, if your hypothesis is that there is a circuit problem, then you plan an experiment to test whether the tube light is not working because of circuit problem. Then you need to plan an experiment. We can do this experiment. Let us take a tube light is somewhat tough, but let us take if it is a bulb. Then you can just bring out another switch or another connection like that, and you can put that bulb into another socket somewhere, and you can test. Okay, this is a very simple experiment. There is nothing with planning. But if it is a somewhat complex experiment, you need to write all the steps that are related in that experiment. Then you should perform the experiment. Okay. After you perform the experiment, you need to analyze the results. After that means yes, if the socket is replaced into if you replace the bulb into another socket, bulb is working or bulb is not working. That is analysis of results. After analyzing, if the bulb is, if you replaced that bulb into another socket, bulb holder, then it is working, then your hypothesis is correct. There should be some problem in the circuit. Or else, what will you do? Your hypothesis is wrong. Again, you should go to the making hypothesis. You should make a second hypothesis. There should be a filament break in the bulb. Then you should go to the experiment again. Okay. You should follow the entire process again. Okay. So time has ended. We'll discuss more about this experimental method in our next class. Okay, children.